This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Okay, so far we have looked at, how do we getting started with Tableau, how do we load the, Excel data into Tableau and look at dimensions and measures and create a basic chart, bar chart. And then yesterday we looked at a concept called sets, right? And then calculations. So can anyone tell me like what is a set and why do we create a set? Yeah, anyone?
Srinu Ramesh here. Set is majorly to filter any particular
Yeah.
data so as per our requirement. So if I want to
Uh-huh.
create, there is a data which is available, huge data which is available. I want to select some of the data, like so in Excel we are looking like a if condition how we are writing that. So there is a conditional we are writing there. Based
Hmm.
on that, we will filter out particular data, whatever as per requirement.
Correct. So set is used to subset. So you can remember like subset. So set is used to subset your data. Correct. And there are three different ways of subsetting and creating a set. What are they? There are three different ways of creating a set. General, do you remember general tab, condition tab, top tab? So in general, if I right? So let's say if I want to create a set on this, you'll go create. There is a set. So there are three options basically, right? In the general tab, you will go manually and select what you want, filter out. In the condition tab, based on a certain column, let's say where sales amount is greater than 5,000, something like that. Based on a condition, you want to subset the data, filter the data, you would use condition. Top tab is used to do the top and bottom. So whenever you want to look at, okay, which are my top 10 customers who are giving me more profit, something like that. So this is a set. Now, what is a calculated field? Can anyone explain? There are some of questions like few people wants to make them presenter. Once I'll do this, I'll make you presenter. Okay. So what is a calculated field? Yes. Anyone wants to try out? If you know the answer, you can ping in the chat window as well. That's fine. Yeah, creating new field. So field, what is the field? Field is nothing but a column, right? So from the existing data, you're creating, for various reasons, you want to create a new field based on some formula. How you in SAS, how you create a new column in a data step, we can create a calculator field. Where do we find those options? You will go to analysis, calculated field, that is one option. You will enter the name of the column and the value. Sometimes it's hard coded value or sometimes it's formula. So today we will be looking at if then else formula. That is one method. Another method, you click on a column and then you say create and then say calculated field. This is the second way of creating a calculated field. Right, now let me ask everyone if you have any questions. So I could see admin. What is your name? I could see your name as admin, but let me make you presenter. Okay, I'm making you presenter. So if anybody has any other questions, questions while working on that assignment or something, you can, ask now. Yeah, I have made you presenter. And while logging in every day, please try to enter your name. The name which I'm saying right now is admin. So always try to enter your name while logging in. Yeah, can you share your screen? Okay, admin has logged out. Okay, anybody has any other question? Feel free to ask. Okay, so let me take the control. Okay, now yesterday we looked at creating a calculated field. You can also create a calculated field based on, let's say, I'm using this channel type, right? So based on a condition, I want, you know, the profit to be calculated. So let's say I'm deleting this profit column. Yesterday I've created the profit column. Now based on this, if it is direct, I want profit to be calculated as 10% of costs. If it is online, 20% of sales cost, something like that. So this is called conditional, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to analysis and say create calculated field. So what I want, the name of the column, okay, I want to compute profit. If I hard code it, what will happen? For all the rows in this sales data, there will be a column called profit and 100 assigned to each and every row. We don't want to do that, right? We want to compute based on a condition. Now, I'm sure everyone must be aware of if then else statements. In your class also you must have done. So what I'll do is, if condition, then channel type is the column. So if in this column, if you find direct, still the calculation, the formula is not complete. That's why it's showing errors. Now, what we want to do, okay, if in the channel type, if the value is direct for any row, then what I want to do is I want, sales cost 10% of it should go to my profit. Now, still the calculation contains errors because every if statement, the formula is, everything should have an end. Now you see, the calculation is valid. So if statement should have an end. And always remember, this is the condition which you are checking. Once this condition is satisfied, then what you want to do, which is that formula calculation, you will specify here. But this is only for direct, right? Now I want to write it other channel types as well. So we have this else if. There's no space between else and if, okay? In SAS there is a space, but here there is no space. Else if channel type is equal to online, then what I want is, 20% of sales cost. For rest, there is an else. That means if any row which is not, matching with this condition, if any row which is not matching with this condition also, rest of the thing, should go to else. So direct online we have written, rest will be, all the rows where it is post. So I'm saying, okay, else, directly I'm saying for rest of the rows, I want sales cost cost as 30%. Now all these values will go and store it into the profit. Now, since the output of that calculation is a numeric column, right? I'm saying sales cost multiply by 10%. So, a 10% on the numeric column would be a number. It will come to the measure section, not dimensions. Can you all create this
Srin,
column profit?
Srinu,
Yeah.
I have one doubt here. Uh, as
Uh-huh.
here there are three columns is there. That is the reason we have created if, and else. If more than 5 will be there, whether we need to continue with that else or what?
Else if. So there will only be one else. Okay. If you have more condition, write else ifs. If you
Okay,
have
okay.
another, write else ifs. But there will only be else for
That
rest.
is whatever pending
So that means
rest will be
if
there.
condition one pending rest, correct. So that means condition one, condition two, condition three, condition four. If four conditions are not satisfied for the rest of the rows, it will go to else. There should only be one else. Got it?
Right, right, got it.
Okay. And always remember the syntax. Like it should start with if, then else if, what, how many else ifs you want to have, then it should have an end. If you don't have an end, it will give an error. You should have an end. Can you all try to create this? I'll wait for a couple of minutes because all these are very important. While working on the project, you might have to create, such kinds of columns. It always happens. Like those who are familiar with SAS, whatever column we want in our analysis, they are not readily available. We want to take help of the existing column and create new columns. It always happens. So we should be familiar with this. Try this out and ping me in the chat window if you are done. So create a column called profit. Yes, those who are done, you can ping in the chat window. Okay, Vamshi is done. What about others? Paramish is also done. What about others? Please let me know if you're facing any difficulties, okay? Navya is also done. Okay, let me give a few more seconds. Okay, now what I want is based on the sales quantity, can you all create a set, you know, where if I take this, okay, 10 to 30, okay. So now what I want is, can you all create a set where sales quantity is greater than 10 is one set and less than 10 is another set. So what I want is I want you all to create two sets. One set is sales quantity greater than 10, another set is sales quantity less than 10. So in set, which one we will use out of those three options? Anyone? There are three different ways of creating a set, right? Which option we will use? Yes, now we are saying condition because we are saying okay on this column should have greater than this. We are not hard coding it, we are not selecting manually. Whatever is the rows, wherever it is greater than 10, we want all those rows in one set, less than 10 in another set, something like that. So how do we create it? So I want, let me remove this. I want customer names. I want the customer names. I'm creating a set on customer names. Okay. So in general, I'll manually go and select that. I don't want to do. I'll go to condition, and what is my requirement based on the sales quantity? I want to have greater than 10 is one set, and here I'll give some meaningful name. So customer names sales quantity greater than 10, or let's say greater than or equal to is also. Can you all create this and then say okay? On the left hand side under sets you will see this set, and I'll tell you what is the use of creating this set. So these sets we can also use it in a calculated field. I'll show you that the purpose of this. First create this set, and let me know once you're done creating this set. So let's create only one set, okay? Don't create less than 10. Don't create it, just create only one set. Let me know once you're done. Yeah, in the previous one, when you computed profit, you have used a formula, right? Okay, okay. So you mean when you want to filter on a particular column.
So
That
my
means from
question
the raw
was,
data you want to from the raw data, right? From the raw data, when you
yeah,
have this data and you have sales quantity here, right? Can we filter it like this, right? Directly
no, no, no.
instead of
What I
creating a
meant
set.
was, no, instead of creating a set, if we write a calculated field, if we make a calculated field, we can filter out for both, right? For greater than 10 and less than 10, rather than only creating one set for greater than 10. That was my question.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we can do that, but the purpose of creating set is different. I'll come to that in couple of minutes.
Okay,
Why we are creating a set and filtering it out. So
okay.
here, uh, there's something called as we can create some buckets. I'll show you that. Okay, so let me do okay. Okay, so this is the set got created based on sales quantity greater than or equal to 10. Now, let me do one thing and then I'll explain. So let's say sales bucket, and here I would say if I'm using my set in the formula, okay, in the calculated field. That means all the rows which are present in this population, in this set, which have sales quantity greater than 10, we would only have those. Then I would say these are my top customers. Else, these are my, just for the sake of, I would say bottom customers. Then I would do end and I would apply and okay. So since the resulting output of that calculated field is top and bottom, which is characters, right? It went to dimensions. Okay. Now what I'll do is, if I go to customer names, I'll go to customer names. Um, I will take this sales quantity. This is the sales quantity. Um, now, where is that bucket? Sales bucket. I'm dragging the colors, but here the color did not change because everything is above 10. You see, all the customers are above 10 only. So I want to take some other column then. So what I would do is, um, all the customers were greater than 250, let's say. So 10 is just a small number. The data is not like that. So let me take filter. I'll go and click on edit set. Instead of 10, I would say 250. So that means, sales quantity greater than 250. I'm filtering it out. Now, what do you see here? Okay, let me go. Did it change here as well? I'll go and click on edit. Yeah, I have not changed the set name. The underlying, it's still greater than or equal to 10. That's fine. Now, this view, what it is showing before, like this, it was like this, all the customers by sales quantity. But I created a bucket which says top and bottom, which is based on dragged it onto the colors. Now, as an end user, you would be clear, okay, those who are in blue color, those are my top customers. Those which are in orange color, these are my bottom customers. Now imagine, like, if you don't have the advantage of creating a set, some we can also use this set, that population in the calculation to create, this kind of view. Yeah, got it. Okay, can you all try this out? And you will see different use cases and you will get more clarity. So can you all try this out for now? So there are two things. First, you create a set and then use this set and create this bucket. So if I want to go and edit, so this is what it is. And if you want, how do we create a set? This is what it is. So on my screen, go and create these and drag those columns and you should get the similar view. And let me know once you're done. So quickly try to create it. Okay, done. Anyone done? And created this view. Drag customer name onto the rows, columns, sales quantity, and in the colors you drag that bucket, the calculated field. Okay, Vamshi is done. What about others? Yeah, so Navya, just check the formula. You must have not written else. And edit that condition. So it is not greater than 10. I hope you are changed it to 250. Okay, because all the customers are greater than 10 only, so everything might be coming under top. So just see if you have this 250. So some rows I have less than 250, some rows I have greater than 250. Okay, done. Shall I proceed? Okay, Navya, do you want to share your screen so that I can see it? I can make you presenter. Okay, so let me make you presenter, Navya. Okay, okay, you can share your screen and show me what you have done. Okay, yeah, go to that. Yeah, go to that bucket first. Yeah, go and do edit. Okay, so if customer name sales quantity greater than 10, then top else bottom. Okay, this looks good. Close it. Now, can you show me that set which you created? Customer name sales quantity. Okay. Um, okay, do okay. Um, okay, remove all those things which is there in the filter. In the filters, you see in out, sales bucket, remove that. Remove, remove that sales bucket also. Yeah. So we don't want to give users to select top and bottom. We just want to highlight it on the chart. So in the filters, I think only top was selected. Out of those two options, top and bottom, you filtered only for top. Okay. So if anyone is looking at this view, they would be clear, okay, which are my, good customers and who are doing good, which are not doing so good. We have to talk to them and get more sales, something like that. Okay, now let me take back the control. Um, Now, if I go back to the slide, see, this is the assignment, for tomorrow. I want everyone to work on this in the similar way how we did top and bottom. Sorry. They want us to create a bucket for small, medium, and large. On what basis I would say that, okay, it is a small customer or medium customer? They are saying based on the sales amount. So if you say sales amount greater than 10,000, it is large. Sales amount less than 5,000, it is small. Whatever is falling between 5 and 10 is medium, else. And then you work on this answer number 4. And this is just a top and analysis. Okay. Now let me go to one of the new topics. So we looked at sets, we looked at calculated fields, we looked at how do we use those calculated fields, how do we use those sets in calculated fields. Now there's something called as a parameter in Tableau. So the next topic we are looking at is parameters. Okay. Now to explain this, let me go to my tool and let me insert a new sheet. Let me close these windows. Now let me show you, what we can do by parameter, and then you will understand. So let's say if you got a requirement from the user saying, okay, I want, sum of sales cost by each channel type, and you swapped, and this is how it looks, rows and columns, x and y axis. Now you got another requirement saying, okay, on sales cost, I want to look at by each department. You would drag department and sales cost, right? Now you got another requirement saying, okay, I want to look at by each item category and the sales cost. You try to build another chart. Now, if you see here, you are creating three different charts. But on a high level, if you see the column is same, like we are looking at sales cost, we are looking at sales cost, we are looking at sales cost, but one column is changing, the column which is there in the columns shelf. At in one chart it is by item category, in other chart it is by department, in the third chart it is by channel type. You can do this, no one will stop you. But you ask a question saying, okay, there's not much changing, just user wants to look at sales cost on different parameters on different columns. Now, instead of showing them three different charts for these requirements, can I combine this into one chart, and I will give the users to select what they want? I repeat, is there any way to combine these three charts and create only one chart, and we will give the flexibility to the user to select what they want? Let's say, I want to view this chart by channel type. In the filters, I'll select channel type. This chart would change for channel type. I would, select department. The same chart should get changed by department. Now, let me create it, then you will understand it more. So you know the what is the problem here. Three sheets, I want to combine it and create only one chart. Now, let's say, I'm looking at this department, and okay, this is what we know. Now, since I'm looking at department, right, no matter, like you can, click on any of the column, create. So now two options already. So this is for creating a new calculated field, new column, and set is used to create a subset of data. Right. Now there is a third option here saying parameter. So click on any of the column, come to create, and you will find this parameter. I'm clicking on parameter. Now, by default, whatever column you select, it will name it with that, like department parameter. You can change it obviously. And in this list of values here, it is loading the values present in that department column. Accounting, audit, finance, we don't want that. So I would clear all. Now see what I will do. So I would say, I want to pick columns, right? I want to pick columns, any name I can give. And here in the value, I want, I'm entering this, and I'll show you what is the use of it. Okay, type. Now this department is for department column. Item category, I'm referring to the item category column. This type is nothing but the channel type. I can give any name here. Okay, I can give any name, but we should be clear which column we are trying to refer to. Okay, now I'll say okay. So you would see on the left hand side there is a parameter section got created. There is a parameter section. Now I'll click on this parameter and say show parameter control. So as soon as you do it, on the right hand side you would see these options. So how are we getting this? Because in the while creating the parameter, I have entered these three values: department, item category, and type. Now, what was our objective? The concept behind this parameter is okay. First, I want to give the users to select, which columns they want to look at. That is done. The first step is done. But now, if you see, the chart is still not changing. Is it changing if I'm selecting item category on the x-axis? Is it showing the item categories? No, right? If I'm selecting type, is it showing by channel type? Because over here it's hard coded, right? We want to do something. Now I have to use this parameter in the calculated field, just like how we use set in the calculated field. I will use the parameter in the calculated field. Now let me do this and then it will be more clear. So I'll go here and say any name, show columns, and here I have to write. So basically I want to link it, right? Where did I write saying that okay, if user selects department, then it should pick department. If user selects type, it should pick certain column. I have not written all those conditions. So what I'm saying is if in the parameter, that means from the drop down, if the user selects department, right, and this value after equal to and the value which you have entered should be same, okay, then only it will compare. Then I want department to be this. Now what is the difference between this department and this department? This department is the value which I'm trying to compare, trying to validate. It is in the quotation, but after then this is the column which I want to pick, and all the columns if you see, it could be a set or a parameter, all those things are put in the square brackets. That means if the user selects department, what should be there in this calculated field show columns? The value should written department. Else if pick columns is equal to type, then which column I want to pick? Channel type. Since there are only three values, I will do else, because user can select either department type. If they don't select anything, that means by default it is item category, right? Else I would say directly the column item category, and I would say end, and I would do apply and okay. Now if I go and do this, is it changing? The chart is changing? No. Look at the x-axis. It's showing departments only. Now, why? Because over here it is hard coded, right? Now, if I want to remove this department and bring in which column, I should bring in this parameter or the calculated field. Any guesses from anyone? Which column I want to drag it to the columns? I want to drag this parameter or I want to drag the calculated field. Yeah, so the calculated field show columns, because whatever I select from here, which is that column which is storing, saying which column I want to show it. So if I select department, look at the x-axis, guys, okay? Accounting, audit, financials. If I select type, direct online post. If I select if I select item category, it went to the else part. So whatever I select here, my calculated field, giving us a column, and that column will get substituted here when you select from this drop down. Now, isn't this cool? Like, instead of creating these three different sheets by different columns, what I am doing, I am giving the users to select, what they want on which column, and dynamically the graph is getting changed. So this is the concept of a parameter. Parameters allows us, to achieve this functionality. Can you all try this out quickly? So let me open this parameter. Yeah, Vamshi, tell me.
So, technically, what is happening in this chart scene is one chart overlapping another chart, or are the numbers being replaced in the same chart?
Yeah, it's not overwriting. It just, showing one column at a time. That's it.
Okay,
So
it's
behind
not
the
like.
scenes, no, no, no. So if I take the sales cost onto the labels, these are the numbers. So basically what is happening is how we drag one column, we are achieving the
Mhm.
same functionality, but by using these options. So when you select a particular column, dynamically it is going and substituting department column. It is not overlapping.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But everyone understood the benefit, right? If in the interview, if they ask, what is the parameter and what is the logic behind, you should be able to, explain this concept, the benefit of creating the parameter. Because dynamically, we are changing the columns from the columns or rows basis on the selection. Okay, so let me quickly first create a parameter like this. Click on any of the column and go to create and create a parameter and name the parameter name as pick columns.
And one more question, Singh. So, how is SAS
Mhm.
able to identify type as channel type? How is it able to recognize if you give the same name, then it is understood, but I did not understand if only you have given type, but it's still considering channel type.
Okay, yeah. So see, here I can give anything. Here you can give one, two, three.
Yeah.
Okay. So here I have given type, and your question is the column name is channel type, how it is identifying. So here the
Yeah,
logic
it
is,
is.
yeah. So in the calculated field, when it is type, this is the column. You cannot do any mistake here.
Okay.
This could be anything.
Okay, got it. Understood.
Understood?
Yeah.
Because after then I'm picking the channel type. So in the parameter, you can have 1, 2, 3 also, but you have to use that 1, 2, 3 accordingly to pick which columns you want.
Okay, this is basically so parameter is basically helping the calculated field to uh, you know change the values in the chart.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
So dynamically picking the columns which the users want. And how we are proceeding is we're learning each and every topic. And in the project while working, if you get a requirement saying, okay, you want to create a parameter, you should not be in a doubt saying, okay, how do you create a parameter? What is the concept? So we're learning each and every topic, and all these topics, you will be using in the projects. So at that time, you should be crisp and clear, what is a set, how do we create a calculated field, what is a parameter, what is the logic behind it. Everything should be clear. And it will take time. I know, like, for the first time, it might be, a little bit difficult to understand the steps, but once you do it for a couple of times, right, it will be pretty much easy. For the first couple of times, I know you have to remember, like, going through the steps, remembering all the steps and all. But once you do some hands-on exercises, you will not forget. Okay, done. Created the parameter. Then go and create a calculated field and use that parameter in that calculated field. Show columns. And drag that show columns onto the column section. Okay, anyone done? Okay, so let me close this. And how do we get those drop down options on the right? Once you create a parameter, click on the arrow and say show parameter control. Okay, so it's already 7:57. I know, many of you would want to go to office, have to travel. So what we will do is we will end for today here, and then tomorrow we will continue from where we have left today, from the parameter sections, and we will see different use cases and the assignment. So if you get time, so what I want you to do is work on this on slide, day 3, slide number 4 and slide number 5. You should be able to do it. If you're not, if you face any difficulty, just note it down. Tomorrow you can share your screen and you can walk me, where are you finding it difficult. Okay, that is how we can do it. And I hope the previous assignments as well, if I go to here, I hope you have solved all these hands-on exercises. Okay, so tomorrow the very first thing is we will complete the parameters thing, and then I want, I'll pick some of you to show some of the hands-on exercises. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. So we will connect back tomorrow. Have a great day.